Hey there, Explorers. It's time to talk about a topic everyone's been asking me for, the electric guitar. This is Electric Guitar 101. Now, I'm going to do a number of things with this today for you as a prep for our class on Saturday. And I hope you dig into this a little bit. It'll get you prepared to play through. We're going to talk about on class on Saturday all the different buttons and knobs on electric guitars and amplifiers, just so you get a feel of what you're trying to play around with when you're touching all those things and trying to make this thing sound super cool. If I were to narrow down two things I think every student should know about the electric guitar and playing the electric guitar, that would be power chords and the pentatonic minor scale. Power chords are smaller versions of chords that make up a really crunchy sound when you play, but don't take a lot of complicated fingerings and across the guitar. There's actually only one shape. And if you're looking at some notation, this is often called the 5 chord. So it might say C5 or G5 or A5. And I taught a whole class on this before, but if you missed that class, let me demonstrate what a power chord looks like. You're going to need the root or the name of that chord. In this instance, we're going to use G. And that G is played on the 6th string, 3rd fret. So I'm going to put my first finger, on string 6, fret 3. Then I'm going to take my 3rd finger and I'm going to put it on string 5, fret 5. That's a D in case you didn't know. Then I'm going to take my pinky and tuck it behind that and put it on string 4, fret 5. That's a D. That's a G, excuse me. That's a G. So if I take and hit those 3 notes together, I hear a lot of crunch. All sorts of songs use just this shape to play. And if you need a shortcut version because you can't get your hands around, bigger chords, this power chord will go a long way to helping you be successful. Now, you can take that shape and move it because it floats. So this is G, because that's the name of our root. And we move that power chord back, the same shape. Now it's F. If we move it over, now it's B flat. If we move it up, it's C. And you can only use this shape between the string groupings of 6, 5, and 4. You play those 3 strings together as we did in the G power chord. Or 5, 4, and 3 for the C power chord. It's important that you know your fretboard names, especially on strings 6 and 5. So that way you can play those power chords up and down the fretboard. Okay? If you don't know them, I will put a document in the folder and you can print that off and you can just go and run them. And just stay on one string. And it goes E on the open string, F on the 1st fret, G on the 3rd fret, A on the 5th fret, B on the 7th fret, C on the 8th fret, D on the 10th fret. And that's about as far as you're going to get that power chord to go. Nobody really plays it up this high because you can play that on another string over here. And it's a little easier to do. Just knowing that string, the names of the notes. You don't necessarily have to read them. Just know their names. On the 5th string, we should know those as well. The 5th string open is A. The 5th string 2nd fret is B. The 3rd fret is C. The 5th fret is D. The 7th fret is E. The 8th fret is F. And the 10th fret is G. And you can rewind and review that as much as you want. But if you want to play one of those power chords, all you got to do is put your first finger on whichever root note you want, whichever chord name you want. That's an F. There's a G. There's a C. Now I can do that down here too. F, G, C. So it gets a slightly different sound to it. And you can mix those up. Secondly, we're going to talk about the pentatonic minor scale. Penta, if you didn't know, in Latin means 5. There are only 5 notes in this scale, as opposed to the traditional 7 notes of the do, re, mi scale, of the major scale. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. Ti, 7 notes. Do is the 8th note, and it starts all over again at do. Right? That's a major scale. The pentatonic minor scale only uses 5 notes. Right? And I'm going to show you the shape of the pentatonic minor scale today. The shape goes like this. I'm going to start on string 6. And I think it's important to remember that string 6 and string 1 are both E's. So whatever we do on one string, we're always going to do the exact same thing on the other. So there's only 5 strings we have to learn, right? Because E and E are the same. In the pentatonic minor scale, we're going to show you the finger pattern now. So I'm going to start on that G again. And I'm going to shout out fingerings because we're going to play this in 3rd position. Right? In 3rd position, finger 1 plays on fret 3, finger 2 on fret 4, finger 3 on fret 5, and finger 4 on fret 6. Those are the 4 frets we use in 3rd position, and each finger just gets a fret in line. Okay, so now I'm going to shout out the finger pattern to you. So it goes on the 6th string, finger 1, then finger 4. If you need a little crash course, that's fret 3 and fret 6. Now we go to string 5, and it's going to go finger 1, finger 3. If you need frets, fret 3, fret 5. On string 4, it's the same pattern. Fret 3, fret 5. Or finger 1, finger 3. On the 3rd string, it's the same pattern. Finger 1, finger 3, or fret 3, fret 5. On the 2nd string, finger 1, finger 4. So that's fret 3, fret 6. And remember that the 6th string and the 1st string are always the same. So on string 1, it's finger 1, finger 4, or fret 3, fret 6. And if we put it all together, that will create the pentatonic minor scale. Now, I was playing some things earlier at the beginning of this video that expand on different scales on the guitar, but the pentatonic minor scale is a great place to start for you to start writing riffs or ideas. But to do that, there's a couple of concepts you need to know about the pentatonic minor scale. That's going to be exclusive to this video. This is an exclusive content only for you who watch the video. For those of you who went to the class and decided to come back and watch the video, thanks. This information will help you take that pentatonic minor scale that we talked about in class to the next level. The pentatonic minor scale consists of 5 notes. I'm going to use numbers to describe the notes, and the numbers all talk about the relationship to the root, in this case G, or the 1st note of the scale. There are 5 notes in the pentatonic minor scale. 1, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 7. Those notes make up the pentatonic minor scale and have relationships to G. B flat is what we call the minor third or a flatted third away from G. C is the 4th of G. G, A, B, C. D is the 5th of G. G, A, B, C, D. And F is the flatted 7th. In the key of G, F is sharp. Another lesson for another day, but F is the flatted 7th of G. So each one of those have a relationship, a numeric relationship to G. Practice just going 1, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 7, and then it starts again. There's my root. When we know our roots, root, 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 we can make those relationships work with one another. We can connect the dots numerically. The second part of the scale has the root again, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 7, root, flat 3. Notes on the fretboard can be described in terms of half steps and whole steps. A half step is when you go from one fret to the next one. No matter what fret you're on the same string, one fret to the next fret, that's a half step. So 2 frets is a whole step. 3 steps, 3 frets is a step and a half. In the pentatonic minor scale, and here's a real secret, there are 2 step and a halves. Everything else is just a whole step. It's just 2 frets. So the 3 frets or the step and a half happen between 1, flat 3, and 5 and flat 7. Sometimes you don't see that when you cross the strings. Like you wouldn't notice that being a step and a half. But you notice it here. So as you start to run this scale and you say the numbers, 1, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 7, root, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 7, root, flat 3 again. Then you're ready to unlock the next secret. The next secret tells you how to resolve the tension on each one of those notes. Once we know our roots, then we can figure out how notes are related to the root. In the pentatonic minor scale, I told you there were 5 notes. I'm going to talk to those notes in the form of numbers because they're numbers related to G. That flat 3 wants to always fall backwards to G. Bottom. It has tension and the resolve. That flat 3 exists right here on the third string, 3rd fret. And it's trying to get back to that root on the 4th string, 5th fret, to that G we just talked about. Also, that B flat here, the flat 3rd, is trying to resolve back to that. Our brains just hear that. We create tension, there's the resolve. Tension, resolve. Tension, resolve. The other option for tension and resolution is from the 7th note, and it's a flatted 7th note. That's an F, in this case, in the key of G, and you bring it up to G. It goes some flat 7, it resolves up. Ba-dum. Now, we didn't use that note up there. We could go and borrow. Here we have it on the 2nd string, 6th fret. And we resolve back up to the G on the 1st string, 3rd fret. So 4, 1. For those of you who've made it to Kinda Blue, it's just a pentatonic minor scale. That's all they're running there. When we're creating our ideas, we want to try to end with ending from a 3, from a flat 3 to a 5, to a 1. From a flat 3 to a 1. Or up from the flat 7 to the root, to 1. Once you've learned your pentatonic minor scale, you can start to resolve and play by improvising in that sandbox. If you hit those notes, you can't go wrong. And then electric guitar players use a number of tricks to kind of spice things up. We like to take strings and bend them. Right? We shake a little bit for some vibrato. Right? We slur, we call a hammer on, back the next fret. Or you can do a pull off and hit the higher note and then just pick your finger up. Well, there you have it, explorers. A little introduction video into our class for Electric Guitar 101. As a recap, we're going to dive into the buttons, the knobs, all the controls on amplifiers and how to make those things work when you come to the class. Then we're going to look at the power chord, right? If you can play a power chord, you can play almost any single song because you can fake it. But first you have to know all the notes on the 4th and 5th string. And then the pentatonic minor scale. 1, 4, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 4. And then have fun and improvise inside the box. Can't wait to see you at your class. I look forward to exploring the electric guitar with you.